Tony, we're recording. What would you like to say?
Wow, what would you like to say? Welcome to Prospect Park. I'm originally from the Bronx. I've been here in Park Slope since 1980. And I've been in this park since then. And I've seen this park grow from where people would even come in here. You know, the reason this park is safe now is because of the dog walkers. Because the dog walkers were the only ones who would come in here.
One of my, I guess, biggest challenges in the early 80s was, there's no one here. And so if there's no one here, who's going to be the champion for this park? And how are we going to get people to come back to the park? And one of the first things we worked on was with dog owners. And so there were these people walking their dogs all the time, and they were getting ticketed constantly for walking their dogs in the Long Meadow early in the mornings. So we sort of met with them and said, well, why couldn't we do something where maybe before 9 o'clock you could walk in the meadow with your dog off leash and you wouldn't get a ticket? So we tried it. We got permission from the Parks Department to test it out, and sure enough, it was fabulous.
Yes, Angie. Everybody loves Angie. Everybody loves Angie. Yes, they do. Off-leash in Prospect Park had been a tradition, a thing that you do. If you knew about it, you showed up, you let your dog off the leash in the evening. Very informal, and they were going to cancel that. So a group of us met with Tupper Thomas, the park administrator, and said, listen, we've got tons of people out here. There are people who, and this continues till today, people who move to the neighborhoods around the park specifically because we're allowed to let them off the leash. And anyway, we met with Tupper, and she said if we came up with a set of formalized rules that we could all agree on, that on a trial basis, she would let us keep bringing our dogs to the park and letting them play off leash. It's been going on with very good success now since fall of 1998.
So,
Here, Fanny, these are not my dogs.
And I had somebody just before says, this is a great dog park. I says, this is not a dog park. This is Prospect Park. This is for everybody. Dog park is some little thing with a chain fence around, the dogs have 3 meadows to roam around with. They have a beach to swim in. They have a special little beach over here. They have, on the peninsula, they have a lake to swim in, The thing is that dogs here, they're better off than a dog in a suburbia, and sit in the backyard. Because these dogs, they're roaming free. They're being as natural as they can be.
I'm Paul Kowacki from Orange, Massachusetts. And we come down here, I'm here sometimes twice a week, more often once a week, sometimes not for a few weeks. I've come down with friends. We had started coming down originally because we take in severely abused golden retrievers. We take in the ones that are unadoptable because of their behavior. And we found that back at home, before we even started coming down here, that when they were around other dogs, they behaved much better. But Prospect Park has become somewhat of a kind of like a home away from home for us. We made a lot of friends here and feel real comfortable here.
Okay, well, I'm just going to follow you.
I was thinking like go down to Dog Beach.
Especially on weekends, there's all these yuppies. You know, usually people have much, but the yuppies, you know, they have their designer dogs. You know, and every year there's a certain dog that's designer dog of the year. You know, one year it was Sharpays, those wrinkled dogs. Another time it was Akitas. What was the other ones that were into? Now it's a competition between French bulldogs and I forgot the name of those other dogs. They used to call her the Jesus dog because she didn't know what water was, and she ran right into the lake and was actually walking on the water for a little bit before she sunk. And then she'd get up and she's spitting out water, and from then on, 10 years now, I could never get out of water. She loves it. She just loves that water.
You got dogs buried in Greenwood Cemetery?
Yeah, they're not supposed to be buried there. One day I went there and I came upon like a little mound on top of a mound, a pedestal with a guy's head on top, and there was regular tombstones surrounding the pedestal. So I got to see what it is, and I read the inscription, and it says Eliza Howe Jr. He invented the sewing machine in 1834. But the thing about the regular tombstones was that on top of them they would have brother, sister, mother, father, and then they would have their initials and date of birth and date of death, and that was it. That was the only inscriptions. So I'm walking away, and out of the corner of my eye, I look behind the pedestal, and there's one lone tombstone with writing on it. So I walk over there, and on top of the stone it says, Fanny, died December 10th, 1881. And on the epitaph it says, only a dog, do you say, sir critic? Only a dog, but a truth I prize. The truest love I won in living lay in the deeps of her limpid eyes. Frost of winter nor heat of summer would fail if my footsteps led. And memory holds dear in his treasure casket the name of my darling would lie dead. And that moved me a lot. You know, my first reaction, I got all teary-eyed. My second reaction was the dog was the only one who got an epitaph. But that name stuck, so when I found this dog, I named her Fanny in remembrance of that dog.